Hello again, traders, and welcome back to the Hot Stocks Outlook for June 14th, 2024. Hope you all are having an excellent week out there in the financial markets. As always, we've got plenty of opportunities to cover in this week's Outlook. So if you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and click on the link in the description below, and you can sign yourself up for a live demo to learn all the specifics about how these predictive technologies and tools can help you make much better trading decisions in the marketplace. Now, as we typically do, we like to get a sense of where that broader stock market is via the SPY ETF. And so right now we can see year to date, we're up just under 15%. So that certainly means that there's been nice opportunities the first half of this year throughout the equity market. And recently we've seen a lot of that momentum come into the market. So just the past 5 trading days, you're up 1.7. And so this certainly means that there's great opportunities spread throughout the marketplace. And so this has been one of the stocks we've actually highlighted for the past 3 weeks here, because we can identify all this strength coming through the VantagePoint forecast. But let's explain how all of this works, whether you're looking for a big shift and a swing trade in the market or looking to do some shorter term day trades, right? So what we have here with him and hers health is daily price action, right? So each one of the candles that you see is going to represent a full and complete trading day. And it's right up against that price data that the first thing you'll notice is a black line and a blue line value. So the black line that you're seeing there, that is a simple moving average. So that's a very common technical analysis tool. In this case, it's a 10-period simple moving average. So it's going to look at the last 10 closed prices, add those all together and divide by 10. And one of the weaknesses here is that all that data just comes from the past. And additionally, something that really most tools can't do aside from VantagePoint, is it's only looking at the one market in question, right? So it's just looking at the last closed prices and very simply adding those together, dividing and summarizing where average prices have already been. But traders want to be ahead of that next move in the marketplace. And so what we're able to do is compare that black lagging moving average to this proprietary predicted moving average. And for this number, essentially a price prediction to get calculated and plotted every evening for the trader, well, this is where that technology of artificial neural networks come into play, and they're performing what we would call intermarket analysis. And so the reality is that other markets drive and influence and offer some short-term price clues as to the future prices of individual assets. So that can be things like the big ETF groups, that can be things like individual stocks or those broader indices like the NASDAQ and the Qs. And so it's able to look at all of these, really competing market relationships, whether they be positive correlations, inverse correlations, and really weigh those out into a solid, consistent output. But this goes all the way down the line to things like the value of the dollar index or global interest rates or potentially commodity prices, right? So a few months ago, we looked at a lot of gold and oil stocks were doing quite well. And those are certainly affected by those commodity markets themselves. And so it takes this global approach looking at all these intersecting relationships and forecast future price with a very high level of accuracy. And so what we're seeing when we look at this comparison between this blue and the black line value is really these predictive technologies skewing, in this case, to the bullish side. Traders can take advantage of that, recognize that through features like really VantagePoint's and Telescan features. So whatever predictive indicators you want to use to identify opportunities that match your trading style, well, this is where we can make sure we see these things right as they occur. And so we certainly can tell that him and hers is in a nice strong uptrend. But over the past few weeks, you want to be able to manage that effectively, right? Add to your position at the right time, stay in the market as long as the overall trend continues higher. And we see as long as that blue line remains above the black line, well, this stock has continued to march higher. In this case now, you're up a little over 95%, pushing up to about 100% gain in just the past 25 trading days. So here, just a 500 share position is up about $6,000, when you get a stock moving from 12 up to 24 in pretty short order here. But let's go ahead and take a look at some of these other VantagePoint predictive tools. Obviously, identifying those trend shifts is important. But if you look at the bottom of the chart, well, notice this bar that goes from green to red back to green. This is another VantagePoint indicator, but it's tuned to solve a different problem for the trader. And that's really short-term strength or weakness over a 48-hour period. So just a couple of days, really identifying that momentum coming into the marketplace in combination with that overall trend. And of course, each week we look at the VantagePoint predicted high and predicted low. So now we're down to intraday price levels that traders can use to add to their position, take profit, also uses stop losses, understanding where the market is likely to trade. And so over the past few weeks, as we've brought this market in, we say, okay, well, where are those levels coming through where VantagePoint traders can scoop up some additional shares and look to exploit that momentum. And you see here just day after day, market shooting up. Within a couple of days of a position, you're getting a very, very strong move in the desired direction. And this has resulted in, again, numerous trades where traders can take some profit, get out of the market, reset the position, and, again, just manage the opportunity based if you're short term doing day trades, looking to get back in, or just understanding that, look, this is a very strong market. The trend is up. You certainly may want to hold on to some of that position as we march higher day after day. So as long as that blue line remains above the black line, the overall trend is up here. And we've seen a very similar picture in NVIDIA, right? So a lot of attention around these tech stocks, NVIDIA really leading the way. And again, this is helpful to say, okay, well, even with all this momentum coming in over the past few weeks, if you want to trade in these shares, recognizing that, hey, the markets are bullish, we've got the S&P moving higher, we've got individual stocks doing well. Well, this is where these short-term tools are extremely effective. So you see here that we've had the stock split, but really since the beginning of this move, where do you want to be buying NVIDIA shares? Well, down towards these predicted lows, and you see within really a day or 24 to 48 hours, you're moving higher and reaching those subsequent predicted high levels, right? So now we're seeing things really start to gap up and move ahead here. But again, a really nice opportunity here where VantagePoint traders really have their attention tuned here where these predicted forecasts are the most bullish. So here in NVIDIA, another 50% move over the past 38 trading days. Shares of Apple, right? So another popular stock. We got this crossover all the way back really at the end of April, right? So the beginning of May here, very long-term opportunity as far as the crossover coming through. But again, look more recently, right? So that blue line over the black line, Neural Index very bullish here. And pretty much every day, the trader would be coming in and saying, okay, let's look, where do we want to add to our position down at these predicted lows? You see in this case, market moving down towards this previous predicted low. And then all of that really strong momentum coming in as Apple does extremely well this past week, along with the broader markets, right? So we're just seeing a lot of stocks do extremely well. This move from Apple now is about a 26.7% rally over a little bit longer period of time at 34 trading days. Micron, a little bit more recent of an opportunity. Micron is running sideways, but we see coming into this week, blue line over black line, Neural Index bullish. And again, we can take a look at really throughout the marketplace, how are these predicted high and low levels performing? So when you come into the week and say, okay, I want to get a position here on Micron, well, where do we want to be buying in? Well, you see coming into this trading day, let's look to accumulate a position down here at these predicted lows. You see that the Neural Index gets bearish here, letting you know, expect some potential weakness over the next couple trading days. You run sideways, another opportunity down at that predicted low before we get all of this momentum throughout really the tech space, propelling things like Micron here, Apple, and certainly NVIDIA. So shares up 8.3% just from this predicted low, which would have been Tuesday, right? So coming into the week, identifying all this strength, Neural Index bullish, and we see all that momentum come again through the tech space. Here's shares of Chipotle, a little bit more of a just sort of sideways beginning of a move here. But we see we get this crossover between the blue and the black line, and the Neural Index goes bearish here. And so this is a good example of how this all works, where that Neural Index goes bearish, warning you to look for subsequent lower lows, right? Use the short-term tools if you want to keep accumulating a position, but look to do this at lower prices. So you see the market wants to move lower. Again, it's forecasting that, hey, we're going to go a little bit lower this next trading day. You get a gap down, but the overall trend is up here, right? The blue line is still above that black line, and we see shares begin to advance a little bit more here. So a little bit of a 3% move just over the past week here. But again, a good example. As long as that blue line remains above the black line, Neural Index is going to go from bullish to bearish, but it's going to let you know and warn you of that short-term shifting, right? That short-term momentum in the marketplace so you can adjust your positions. Lastly here, Caterpillar, just wanted to highlight some of the weakness in the market, right? So at some time, there's going to be a blue line over the black line crossover here in Caterpillar, but certainly over this month is not an area where you want your attention in the marketplace. And so we see that crossover to the downside, Neural Index bearish, and all this bearish momentum taking prices materially lower. And so again, you see when you get this contradiction here, you got this blue line below the black line, a lot of distance there, Neural Index bullish. And look at this week that you've had, right? Completely sideways as you're getting that short-term strength with the Neural Index. You're still in downtrend, so clearly not an area that's likely going to benefit this week as we see the broader market do well. But at some point, again, if you want to trade Caterpillar, well, we'll see those predictive indicators get bullish, and there'll probably be some better opportunities. But 8% slide just over the past 15 trading days. Certainly not an area you want to be when we've got so many opportunities doing extremely well and a lot of those VantagePoint forecast positioned to the bullish side. So we'll go ahead and leave it there. Once again, this has been our Hot Stocks Outlook for June 14th, 2024. Thank you all for watching. Best of luck and bye for now.